As kids get ready for back to school, a new state law is causing school cafeterias to adjust. As Rusty Ray reports, every student will now be able to get 2 square meals for free at school every day.
The more things change in Robbinsdale School District cafeterias.
Since I took this job in January 2020, every year it has changed, how we were able to do meal service based on the pandemic, and then kind of as we were coming out of that a little bit.
The more they return to what they were. For 2 COVID years, the federal government picked up the tab on school meals for every student. Last year, it went back to normal. Student meal debt racked up again, and the district said it served 13% fewer meals than the years before. Earlier this year, the state passed a law to pay for 2 meals a day for every student moving forward.
So it gives us that space when we're not doing these other tasks to be able to really focus on our offerings for our students and make sure that they are things that they want to eat and will make them come back through the lunch line.
Students still have to provide a PIN or a barcode, and they still have to pay if
extras like an extra milk or an entree, those are things that they still need to have money in their meal account for in order to access those and purchase them.
The old debt from unpaid accounts hasn't gone anywhere, and Wall and her staff still have to track it down. And they still want families to fill out the free and reduced meals applications.
It provides benefits for the family. They can access reduced price internet, reduced admission to local museums like the Children's Museum, those kinds of things. And then finally, it drives critical aid to our schools for state compensatory funding. We receive funding via that, and then also federal funding for things like Title I.
To help schools have what they need and students have what they need too.
We just get to really focus on our staff and making sure that we're keeping our kids fed and ready to learn.
Meanwhile, more school buses will be equipped with cameras to catch stop arm violators. First student buses like these used for the Osseo School District now have cameras mounted on the side. State law requires drivers to stop at least 20 feet from a school bus that activates its red flashing lights or has its crossing arm fully extended. This law applies to drivers approaching from behind a school bus or from the opposite side on undivided roads.
It is a $500 fine for anyone who passes a stop school bus with the stop arm deployed. So hopefully that will be an additional incentive for folks to keep our children safe and stop for the stop arm.
Department of Public Safety data shows hundreds of stop arm violations across the state every year. Brooklyn Park's new fire chief is moving forward with goals for his department's future after the city council approved him for the permanent role. CCX News reporter Kevin Miller had a chance to catch up with him.
What specifically about Brooklyn Park made you want to be chief here?
I have been blessed with the ability to work not just around the country, but around the world. And working in culturally rich environments, I can honestly say that I'm home. I just love the diversity and the way that the community supports one another.
Was there a specific point in your career where you realized you wanted to join the fire service full time?
At a young age, my sister was in an accident. She was struck by a motorcycle. Experience what my sister went through has allowed me to just be way more compassionate and understanding for people's needs in emergency situations. But 28 years later, it's one of those things that maybe that was a catalyst to help me get into it.
Do you have any big projects that you're hoping to take on in the year or next 5 years?
We want to be known as a family-first organization. And what I mean by that is a lot of people move around, especially for police and fire right now. The well is not deep. There's not an abundance of firefighters out there. So we want people to know that they're appreciated here. And part of that is, what are we going to do to support them as a person? We need to be well-trained, well-equipped, and that includes our firefighters' families. So the health and wellness side of this is very, very important to me. As far as the equipment, we're constantly reevaluating what equipment is available to our team to affect both property conservation and life safety initiatives. Probably our most significant project that we're looking to address right now is our infrastructure in our fire stations. A lot of our fire stations were built in the early 90s. In that time, it was just a different model. We're a full-time fire department with 49 sworn firefighters, and the current designs of the fire stations are not conducive to supporting 24-hour staffing. We operate out of 4 fire stations, running approximately 9,200 calls a year with 14 per shift. And we're going to start with our central fire station right here in the northeast corner of Zane and 85th, if it's approved. That will be our central fire station, and that will house our battalion chief and ladder company. I've been doing this a long time. I've served in a number of capacities, both medical and fire, from rural EMS, urban EMS, as a flight paramedic, critical care. I've just been blessed. I've been able to do everything that I've wanted to do in a career, whether it be as a firefighter or as a paramedic. I couldn't be more honored to be serving in this capacity as fire chief.
The Minnesota State Fair features, shall we say, a not-so-frightening tribute to a Robbinsdale celebrity baker. A scarecrow of Marjorie Johnson is among the entries of this year's crop art and scarecrow exhibit inside the Agriculture Building. It was created by Robbinsdale native Kate Richardson. Richardson wanted the piece to feature Marjorie's signature red dress and her vast collection of blue ribbons.
She just celebrated her 104th birthday, which is huge, and she's still peppy as ever and loving life, that I thought, I really want to do something awesome for her, and she is our city celebrity, and I thought she'd really enjoy it.
Marjorie, we're told, has seen the scarecrow, calling it, quote, cute.